Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! It's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, 2-run shot to right.
And we welcome you to Timber Creek Regional High School, a place where we've never been, but it's a team and two teams that we have certainly seen plenty of times before. It's familiar faces in unfamiliar places. It's the second round of the 51st Annual Diamond Classic between the Bishop Eustace Crusaders and the Rancocas Valley Red Devils. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Damian Waiters today. As here from Timber Creek, it's an overcast, mostly overcast day, but it should be a fun weekend of Diamond Classic baseball. Remember, for the second round, we're down to 16 teams. There's 8 games being played in 4 neutral site locations, and where we're plopped down today is one of the 3 in Camden County at Timber Creek. There's 2 games being played at Eastern, 2 at Overbrook, and 2 all the way down the shore in Ocean City. So we decided to go with the one that was just a little bit closer to home. The 4 o'clock game will be between Delsea and Haddon Heights. But for these 2 teams, they haven't had easy roads to get to the second round. Bishop Eustace beat Cherry Hill East 3-2 at home, and a late 6th inning rally won them the game. Meanwhile, Rancocas Valley was in a slugfest with Hamilton in the first round, 13-10. But RV escaped alive, and they now meet in another Olympic Conference matchup. And despite the fact that RV has been in the Olympic for a few years now, these guys and Bishop Eustace have only met once in May of 2023. So with Rancocas Valley taking the field, it's going to be seasoned versus rookie. The freshman, Chase Logue, is the pitcher for Rancocas Valley. We've heard his name before, along with Eamon McDermott, the senior right-hander for the Crusaders, who will be getting his start. Rancocas Valley, after the coin flip, is the home team. However, they are wearing their road grays in today's contest. We'll be right back with starting lineups and first pitch here in the second round of the Diamond Classic here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Welcome back here from Timber Creek. Again, it's rookie versus season. Chase Logue is the starter for Rancocas Valley this afternoon. He comes into this game with 15 2/3 innings, a 4.11 ERA in 15 1/3 innings. And we saw him earlier this year versus Cherry Hill East. So I'm excited to see how he does in another Olympic matchup, especially versus an out-of-division Olympic team, with Bishop Eustace being in the American and Rancocas Valley being in the National. I think that these two will work themselves out very well with 2 very experienced head coaches, Dan Haverstick, and of course the all-time winningest head coach in South Jersey, Sam Tropiano. Dante Bell leads us off from Timber Creek. Let's take a look at Bishop Eustace's starting lineup today, presented by Harper Driving School. Dante Bell is the shortstop leading off. Roman Fayola in left field. J.J. McLaughlin at third. Cleanup man is Dante Matarace in center field. Max Sullivan, the second baseman. Mason Rosenberg at first. Gabe Yates behind the dish. The DH in the 8th spot is Franco Iannone. Gabe Rogers rounds out the order in right. And the right-hander committed to Boston College, Eamon McDermott, is the pitcher. First pitch is grounded foul down the third base line. We are underway from Sicklerville. Oh, 1 on the way. Another strike called there, 0-2. So a hot start for the freshman Logue. And the 0-2. Down and away. 1-2 here. I think the early approach here for the freshman is you can't get too cute with your pitches. I mean, his arsenal is pretty good, but you don't want to put it in jeopardy because of some mistakes. Foul back. One ball, 2 strikes. A couple of foul balls in this at bat off the bat of Bell. He's got a 1-2. Up and in. Again, Bell, the shortstop, Fiola, the left fielder, and McLaughlin, the third baseman. First 3 for the Crusaders. And the 2-2. That's ripped out towards left field, down into the corner. It is caught and left. Good play down there in the left field corner. And we've got our first out of the ball game. That brings up Fiola. So a line out to left and a strung out at bat. And Eustace lines out for the first out of the ball game. Fiola, the junior, batting .315. 4 extra base hits, 17 for 54 all told. There's a strike called. 6 stolen bases and a .389 slugging percentage. Here at Timber Creek Regional, home of the Chargers, one of South Jersey's newest high schools, opened in 2001 as a part of the Black Horse Pike District. That one's outside 1-1. Of course, there's Triton and Highland that have been around for a little bit longer, but Timber Creek was the 3rd school and is the 3rd school in the district, opening in 01. Seneca opened in 03, and that one is ripped center field, going back to the warning track, to the wall, and he makes the catch. Jake Bartletta, the future Rowan Prof, brings it down in center on a tough-to-track fly ball. And 2 ringing fly balls to center and left, respectively, or I guess reverse respectively, will get the second out of the inning for J.J. McLaughlin. So Chase Logue, the freshman, settling in. Ball, no strikes to McLaughlin, the junior. Again, in a pretty junior-heavy top of the order. McLaughlin, .341 hitter this year, 10 RBIs, 15 for 44, 2 home runs. One versus Shawnee on April 9th and another versus Cherry Hill East in that aforementioned Diamond first round game, 3-2. There's a strike called. One ball, 2 strikes. That's tapped out towards short. Diving stop. Gets up from one knee. Cannot make the play. And it's an infield single. So Bishop Eustace gets on their hit column for the first time this afternoon. And it's thanks to an infield single there. Just a tough play at short. Can't fault RV too much there, with Henry Adams manning the position. Here is now their cleanup man, Dante Matarese, a sophomore, .275, and a .308 career hitter. Another 2 home runs for him this year. Both of them versus PVI in a 13-10 thriller that ended in a PVI win. Bishop Eustace 11-4 this season. 4-1 in the Olympic National. They started off their campaign with an 8-1 loss to Cherokee, but quickly rebounded and riffed off 5 straight wins from April 14th to April 22nd, including an 11-1 win over PVI, and also impressive wins over Lenape, Moorestown, and St. Joe's Prep in Philly. They are 4-1 in their last 5. They did have a 4-game winning streak that was snapped by PVI on, actually yesterday, on Friday, 13-10. Here's 1-1. Up and away, 2-1. And this is the first of 3 road games in a row for Bishop Eustace. We'll be at Cherry Hill West covering the Crusaders and the Lions on Monday, and then on the road at Morristown on Wednesday the 7th. Malcolm Harrison set behind the plate in a 2-1, misses low, 3-1. I mean, a good start to the inning for Logue. 2 lining flyouts out to left and center, and then you give up that little infield single. There's not too much harm and not too much foul right now, but this is his 18th pitch of the inning. If Haverstick wants him to go far in this game, he's going to have to limit hitters' counts. This one's popped up, right field side, playable down for the sophomore Alvarez, and instead it drifts out of play. First 3 for Rancocas Valley in the first will be Jake Bartletta, Jalen Alvarez, and then the DH Connor Whittle hitting for the pitcher Logue. And these two will play again on May 8th in just a standard Olympic Conference game on Thursday at Eustace. 3-2. That ball's hit well out towards center field. However, this one's up there. Bartletta is there, and the inning is over. Eustace leaves 1 on, and Logue throws 19 pitches in a scoreless first. Bartletta will lead us off for the Red Devils in the bottom half. No score. Eamon McDermott, the pitcher for Bishop Eustace this afternoon, number 99. The senior who's got 41 strikeouts this year and a 2.10 ERA in 20 innings. He flipped his commitment to Georgetown earlier this year, so he will be a Hoya at the end of the 2025 calendar year. And let's introduce what the Rancocas Valley Red Devils, led by Dan Haverstick, have to say. For their starting lineup today, presented by Harper Driving School, you've got Jake Bartletta, the commit to Rowan, in center field. Sophomore Jalen Alvarez is the right fielder batting second. Connor Whittle is the DH in the 3 spot. Carter Klezix is the first baseman batting 4th. Then have Joey Sprague the 4th at first base. Manning the hot corner is Austin Wright. Liam Young is manning the hot corner at 3rd base. Austin Wright is at 2nd. Henry Adams is the shortstop, and Malcolm Harrison is the catcher, batting in the 9th position. And of course, the pitcher is Chase Logue. So here's Bartletta leading off the ball game. for the 9-7 Rancocas Valley Red Devils, who started off the season 5-2, but then had a 3-game losing streak in mid-April. They have won 4 of their last 5, including wins over Bridgewater Raritan, Clearview, Eastern, and Hamilton. They had a huge win over Eastern earlier this week, 12-6. There's a strike called, quickly 0-2. Eastern's offense has been very productive and very powerful, though. They've scored 10-plus runs in each of their last 3 games. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout for Bartletta, and McDermott picks up his first. That'll bring up Alvarez. Alvarez, the sophomore for the Red Devils. .366 hitter this year, 15 for 41, with a grand total of 7 extra base hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 homer, which was recently versus Hamilton. Downstairs. Here's the 1-0 to Alvarez. McDermott delivers. Slider on the inside corner, 1-1. We were talking about RV's offense. They've scored 10-plus runs in the last 3 games in a row. However, in 2 of those 3 games, they also allowed 10 or more. 14-10 over Clearview and 13-10 over Hamilton. Strike called there, 1-2. Alvarez looking to lift the bat off his shoulders here with a 2-strike count versus the Georgetown commit, Eamon McDermott. A lot of Division I talent up and down this Eustace lineup. Here's the 1-2. Downstairs. Good thing about being here, you got the pitch count displayed on the scoreboard in left center field, so Chase Logue throw 19 in the first. And there's strike 3 on the outside corner. McDermott has rung up back-to-back, and now we've got Connor Whittall, the DH, batting in the 3 spot for Rancocas Valley. We've seen Rancocas Valley twice this year. We saw them on April 4th in a matchup versus Cherry Hill East that the Red Devils won 4-2. Had very clean defense in that game. Here's the first pitch with a 2-out at bat to Whittall. That one will go right back to McDermott, who will finish the inning on his own volition with a throw to first. 3 up, 3 down for the Red Devils, and we're scoreless after 1 here in Sicklerville at Timber Creek Regional. No score. Top of the 2nd inning here at Timber Creek Regional High School. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Damian Waiters here this afternoon. It was 81 degrees at first pitch. The overcast weather has made it a little bit better here in the first weekend of May. A lot of folks still filing in here to watch the first of 2 games Second being Delsey and Haddon Heights later today. There's a ground ball off the glove of Adams. He will try to recover, not going to get there. It will travel off of the RV dugout as Klezix couldn't recover the scoop. I don't think he would have been out either way, but that is going to be charged in our book as an E6 against Adams, as Sullivan will reach to bring up Mason Rosenberg. McDermott took down the RV Red Devils in order. 2 strikeouts in the first, only 9 pitches. Inside to Rosenberg. That'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Crusaders. Logue from the stretch, 1-0, that's lined, past second base, into right center field, on his horse to third. The throw will not meet him there, and it's a base hit for Rosenberg that an active Sullivan is allowed to go to third, and RV finds themselves in a precarious situation early with an E6 to lead off the frame, and Rosenberg getting a no-out base hit, leading up for Gabe Yates, the catcher. This season, though, has just been so unusual. You know, Eastern was, I think, 12-1 when they played RV, and then RV put up a 12 spot and won the game 12-6, and saw Doan Academy put up a fight against Eastern in the first round of the Diamond. First pitch, high and in, or just maybe generally high, 1-0. Remember, this is one of the 4 regional sites for the second round of the tournament. All of the first round games were held at the higher seed. And one of the biggest complaints about the Diamond Classic seeding this year was the bracket itself, as that was a strike called on the outside corner. I think a lot of people, myself included, were a little bit puzzled by the so-called reinventing of the wheel. It's a 32-team tournament, but the seeds were not 1 through 32. The 1 seed, Gloucester Catholic, did not play the 32 seed in the tournament. They played the number 27 seed, Cherry Hill West. And that was a close game. It was 3-0 in favor of GC. But we were at Clearview versus Cinnaminson on Thursday. Cinnaminson was the 22 seed, and Clearview was the 11 seed. Got that one jammed. It's caught, as on a sinking fly ball, the second baseman comes in and makes the play. A good play by Austin Wright, and that's the first out. And those kind of hits can sometimes be puzzling there, because he got it jammed off the very beginning of the barrel, and it kind of fell in there, and a good reaction time there by Wright to bring the ball in and bring the out down. Strike called, 0-1. Well, sometimes pitchers work best under pressure, and Logue seems to be right now getting himself back into the driver's seat. Still a big opportunity for Bishop Eustace, though, at the bottom of the order with their number 8-man Franco Iannone, another sophomore for the Crusaders. Excuse me, a junior. Popped up, out in the shallow center. Adams doesn't see it. It instead is the center fielder, Bartletta. The throw to the plate is high on one hop, and Bishop Eustace has the first run of the game on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Iannone. That's his second RBI of the year. And that makes it 1-0 Eustace. Sometimes runs in baseball don't come in the prettiest ways, and that was a good way of doing it right there. You move the runner over, it's the second out of the inning. Works out for everybody. Logue doesn't give up a hit, Eustace gets a run, and not too much damage is done otherwise. It's the 9-hitter, now on a delayed start. Runner's going to second, he is out. Beautiful throw by Malcolm Harrison, who picked up the delayed start and got the runner swiftly to retire the side. So blink and you'll miss it. Eustace gets a run on a sacrifice fly, but that's all they write in the top half of the second. Through 1.5 here at Timber Creek, 1-0 Crusaders. RV went down in order in the bottom of the first inning, but they did get a good kickback in the top of the second. They allowed a run, but they did get a nice throw out at second off the hands of Malcolm Harrison to throw out the runner, as it'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Dan Haverstick and the Red Devils. Here's the first pitch. Strike called to Carter Klezix. Klezix, Sprague, and Wright. One. Klezix, the senior, manning the first base position this afternoon. Had 3 home runs last year. He's failed to leave the ballpark this year, but he's got a .280 average, 300 in his career, 14 for 50, 10 RBIs, and 1 extra base hit. In his career, he's a .300 hitter, 45 for 150, 3 homers, 8 extra base hits, and 37 RBIs. Up and away there from McDermott. Again, both of these lineups are very talented. Klezix right now, as far as we know, uncommitted, at least not publicly committed. But McDermott held everybody down pretty well in the first, only 9 pitches. This is really his first adverse at-bat of the day. Klezix almost took out Dan Haverstick down the third base line, and it's still 2-2. McDermott had 2 strikeouts in the first without much issue. McDermott and Klezix regroup. They're going to try to get a new baseball here for McDermott. The old switcheroo. Two balls, 2 strikes. McDermott to Klezix. The pitch way up and away. Up and away that time. Full count, nowhere to hide for Klezix. And for McDermott for that matter. 3-2. Ball 4, just missed low. And the Valley has their first base runner of the day. This now brings up the third baseman, Joey Sprague, the 4th. Sprague, the sophomore, batting a very impressive .458 in his first season. 11 for 24. Oh, that's going to get away. He didn't make contact with it, and with the deep backstop here at Timber Creek, that allows the runner Klezix to advance. So you hear a little dialogue there. McDermott disagreeing with the call, and he's not. I don't think he's happy about the fact that it wasn't called a strike. But the thing is, though, is that he pulled back, and the ball got away from the catcher. So kind of tough to make that split-second decision. But either way, Klezix goes to second, and it's a 1-0 count for McDermott. Here's the pitch. Beautiful fastball for a strike. That's one of those pitches where when you're not satisfied, you just kind of uncork one and see where it lands. I mean, McDermott's one of those kind of guys that reminds me again of Landon Mack, who went to Eustace last year, now at Rutgers. And that kind of three-pitch arsenal of a fastball, slider, and changeup really does wonders. 1-1. Sprague pulls back again. It's 2-1. With pitch data from Prep Baseball New Jersey, McDermott right around the 89 to 92 mark on his fastball. He's topped out at 93. And his slider works in at a very well 79 to 84. I mean, any pitcher in South Jersey High School who throws 90+, it's bound to be good. Ooh, Sprague got jammed on the bunt that time, and it's 2-2. Biggest thing here for Sprague is that you don't want to strike out. I mean, now you've got 2 balls, 2 strikes. Obviously, you wanted to move the runner over, but with 2 strikes, that ethos has kind of been turned away. And actually, they're going to have a pinch runner for Klezix, number 25. That will be the senior Matt Garino. Now remember, with high school substitution rules, you can come in, starters can re-enter once. So Klezix not being a pitcher or a catcher, that counts as their substitution. So Klezix can re-enter the game. However, if they pinch run for him again, then he'll be out of the game. So I do wonder if that means that they're going to try to steal third. If you're getting Garino out there, especially in the middle of the at-bat, making the change, Haverstick's putting some of his chips forward here. 2-2. That's in the dirt, and Garino pump fakes towards third, but gets back. And again, Sprague will be followed by the second baseman, Austin Wright. And RV, after kind of lying down to McDermott in the first, has really given him some trouble. He's up to 21 pitches after only throwing 9 in the first, and there's still nobody out. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. And McDermott again expressing his displeasure. And now Austin Wright will bat as McDermott will look to regroup, and Tropiano will come out and talk to his pitcher here and talk to the infield. I think this is a good regrouping spot for McDermott here. I mean, listen, he's been a little bit shaken up here with these last couple of at-bats, and you don't need the field noise mic to figure it out that the body language isn't exactly going his way right now. He's got 2 walks. He has expressed displeasure over the balls and strikes, and sometimes those are things that you just can't control. You wish things would go your way, but it's just not going to. So I think his best situation here, he's got a 1-0 lead. It's not the end of the world. Still early in the game. Obviously, he wants his team to succeed. But if the run support in this game is going to be low, we're going to have to see how things turn out. Because Chase Logue has done a very good job in holding down the Crusaders so far. Only 1 run in the first 2 innings, versus a very good Eustace team. McDermott steps off. So now it's Garino running for Klezix at second, and the runner is Sprague at first, bringing up the second baseman, Austin Wright. Another step off here. And another throwback. Austin Wright, as a part of a very heavy senior class for RV, career 267 hitter, 27 hits, 5 extra base hits. Strike called to Wright, 0-1. I mean, after getting a huge head start, here's the 0-1. Strike called, 0-2. Very good chance that McDermott could reach the pitch count that Logue has had through the first two, kind of playing a game of catch-up here. We mentioned it before, Logue threw 19 pitches in the first, McDermott only threw 9, but this second inning hasn't been too kind. Chopped foul by Wright, and it's still 0-2. Wright and then the hot corner Liam Young to bat for the Red Devils. And remember, regardless of how this matchup turns out, they have to turn around and play each other again at Eustace, right off of Route 70 in Pennsauken on Thursday, the 8th. No balls, 2 strikes. McDermott, ready. Time called at the plate. Got a piece of it just barely off the bottom of the bat, and it's still 0-2. Again, Young on deck for RV, followed up by Henry Adams, the shortstop. 1-0 Bishop Eustace. They had a sacrifice fly in the top half, but the inning ended abruptly as Malcolm Harrison threw out the runner going down to second. So only 1 run came in. Certainly more could have come for Bishop Eustace, but RV now trying to get themselves back into a groove. That one is at the letters, 1-2. Tough call that time, think it was the right one. But we mentioned it before when there was the wild pitch earlier. These teams have to be a little bit concerned with how ginormously huge the backstop is here at Timber Creek. Runner's going to third. Throw down is high. It's not in time. I think RV might have wanted a balk call, but it's not going to matter. Runner does stay at first. And the runner shakes up McDermott a little bit more here, as now Garino swipes third right on his own watch. And we've got runners on the corners, first and third, still nobody out. We talk about it all the time. Baseball is a game of mind games. It is so unusual how things can very quickly break down. It's not like a football quarterback who's thrown an interception. I mean, this is very interesting stuff here. Wright goes, they tag him out, and that's the first out. And now Young's job will be to move the runners over or home, as Wright is McDermott's 3rd K of the day. 2 swinging, 1 looking, and it's Young. Young, the third baseman, hitting in the 7th spot for RV. Again, as part of a huge senior class of 15-plus players. And RV, if you remember, has had some up and down seasons in recent years. They were the #1 seed in 2024 and shockingly lost in the first round to ACIT in one of the more infamous upsets in recent history across all South Jersey sports. That one's popped up foul. And it's quickly 0-2 with the shortstop Adams on deck. And then in 2023, RV ended up being the runner-up to Rancocas Valley. I'm sorry, runner-up to Eastern, excuse me, in South Jersey Group 4. They made it to the sectional final. And we saw RV on opening day last year versus Bridgewater Raritan. It's the farthest we've ever traveled for a Jersey baseball game, 1 hour and 40 minutes to get up to Bridgewater on a rainy April 1st, 2024. McDermott is set. Runners on the corners and 1 down. He's got 3 Ks. Runner goes. That's strike 3 called. Runner will get down to second. And McDermott, after a shaky start to the inning, has settled back in. 4 strikeouts. And now here's Adams. And I like that communication there between Young and Adams. It was just off camera. They had a little communication there just talking about how they're going to approach McDermott. And sometimes I see teams that when a batter strikes out, they don't talk to anybody. Young struck out. He immediately turned to his teammate, and he said something that may help him here. It's outside. I mean, McDermott has had some issues with control here. It hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been great to start. So if RV is going to tie up this game, the best thing that they can do is master plate discipline. 1-0. Squared up to bunt, very quickly pulled back, and it's 2-0. McDermott shaking it off here with a 2-0 count. A lot of fans in attendance today. Again, big thanks to the Timber Creek head coach, John Cates, for setting us up here. 2-0, strike called. We need to get back to Timber Creek for a regular season game. We've never been here before, but we enjoy coming here. And of course, Cates gets a little bit of bias from me for being a fellow Dave Matthews Band fan, but I try to keep my biases out of our broadcasting. Here's the 2-1. Strike called in the inside corner, 2-2. McDermott in a huge spot. He's got 2 runners in scoring position who have been hunting him down here in the second. He's up to 35 pitches, and this will be pitch number, I believe it's 25 of the second, and he got him. Strikes out the side, and Rancocas Valley leaves an opportunity in the dust. 2 runners in scoring position, and the inning is over as McDermott strikes out the side in order. 5 strikeouts through 2 innings. Bishop Eustace leads it 1-0 after 2. Two innings down here at Timber Creek. A huge break for Bishop Eustace. They lead 1-0 after 2. That's lined. Left field. It's deep. It's up there. Is it over the wall? No, it's not. It hit off the top of the wall and off the glove of the left fielder. How about that? As Sprague couldn't bring it down, it'll be a double to start the third. Off the bat of Rogers. Third base coach was talking to Bishop Eustace here, and there's going to be a runner at second for Bishop Eustace. So back to the top of the order. Haverstick was not happy about something, I think in regards to the Bishop Eustace dugout, because he said he's on the rubber and they're talking. So I think what the umpire was telling the Bishop Eustace dugout was that they have to be maybe a little bit courteous when the pitcher is on the rubber. Just like you can't scream at a batter from the dugout when they're about to receive the pitch. So Haverstick, before that double on the first pitch, he had his hands in the air. He wasn't happy. He was looking at Tropiano. Not the first time we've seen some controversy here in the Olympic Conference, but Harrison pump faked, goes back to second. It's the third hit of the day for Bishop Eustace, their first extra base hit. And we're back at the top of the order for Dante Bell. I mean, Haverstick's kind of pacing right in front of the dugout rail down the first base line. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike called. I remember we did a Bishop Eustace game last year versus Holy Spirit in the playoffs that Holy Spirit was unhappy with something Bishop Eustace was saying. So this game could have a lot of chirpiness in it. Let's just say that. 1-1. That's a line drive. Caught it third. They're going to throw it back to second, and he's out. Double play. Blink and you'll miss it. 5-4. As Rogers gets tagged down at second base, Austin Wright finishes him off, and Liam Young spears a ball at third. And that's very quickly the second out to clear the bases now for Faiola. Wow. First pitch fouled way back towards the JV field. Harrison, Bartletta, and Alvarez will be the first three for Rancocas in the bottom half of the first. Oh, 1. Outside, 1-1. That was Logue's 36th pitch, so he's tied with McDermott right now. I mean, if both of these pitchers can be equal in efficiency, may see them duke it out for about the same amount of time. That also depends on how good the offense is. I mean, Bishop Eustace could tack on a couple runs here and chase Logue out of the game, and the vice versa could happen in the bottom half. RV could rattle McDermott a little bit and get him out of the game. A lot of things can happen in just a couple of moments. That one is way high. Goes to the backstop. There's at least 30 feet at least between, well, first of all, here at Timber Creek, the backstop is actually kind of funnel-shaped, or I don't know what you want to call it, but you've got your standard backstop, and then it's extended by about another 10 to 12 feet back behind. So it's wide, and then it gets even longer in the back. That one is high and away. And if you thought RV's backstop was big, this is even bigger. 2-out walk to Faiola brings up McLaughlin. So after a hot start by RV, they quickly line out into a double play off the bat of Bell. And I have a feeling that the fireworks in this game are by no means over. Squaring up to bunt. It'll go over his head. Harrison does not throw. And the runner gets down to second without issue. Faiola. McLaughlin 1 for 1. One ball, no strikes. 40th pitch for Logue is a strike. 1-1. One ball, one strike. Logue from the stretch. Line out to right center field. That's going to drop. The double play will not phase Bishop Eustace, as this will score Faiola. RBI single off of McLaughlin. He's 2 for 2. And it's 2-0 Eustace here in the top of the third. So back-to-back base runners for the Crusaders. And it's now a 2-0 game for RV, and it just makes you think those two runners that were left in scoring position, how much of an impact will that make on the final result of this one? There's a strike. RV didn't have much to say in the first. However, like we said, a couple of base hits, a couple of walks, and 2 runners were left in scoring position at second and third for the Red Devils in the second. But they will have the top of the order batting in the bottom half of the third. That one is up and away, 1-1. Race, as we mentioned, the sophomore. Up and away. 275 hitter this year, 2 homers, 11 walks, 12 RBIs, and 11 for 40 going into this game. But this field, pretty full of foul territory, actually a little bit more foul territory on the left side than there is on the right. It's not entirely even, but it's not so uneven that the casual eye won't notice it. But as we said, Timber Creek haven't been around too long. This is only 24th year for them. There's a strike called, 2-2. Like we said, built in 2001, opened in 2001. One of the newer institutions in South Jersey, along with other schools like Cedar Creek and Seneca. 2-2 from Logue is down. Fastball didn't have too much velocity on it that time, but Race saw that and held on. And the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on, along with a run home on an RBI base hit by McLaughlin. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the changeup inside. Logue picks up his first strikeout of the day, and Eustace gets one home, but given how they were batting, it honestly could have been worse. Rancocas Valley has 9-1-2 in the bottom half of the third. 2-0 Crusaders.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Bishop Eustace leads 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. McDermott's still working here, but it's been an interesting inning. Bishop Eustace got their mojo back, got a run back in the top of the third. That one's fouled back. It's Malcolm Harrison leading us off, followed by Bartletta and Alvarez. 9-1-2. Rancocas Valley doesn't have any hits yet. They have 2 walks, which were both put in the scoring position. However, they did not score any. So McDermott has kept them off the board, but RV is going to try to find a way to alleviate that. A bunt, third base side, picked up on the glove side. It's in time. Harrison, with the bases empty, tried to squeeze one out, and instead grounds out 5-3 on the bunt. 1 out. So we're back at the top of the card for Jake Bartletta, the Rowan commit, who struck out swinging his first time. Bartletta having a great season, .393 as a senior. 1-0. They're going to appeal to first, and it says no. 22 for 56, 5 RBIs. He's had a 39 in his career, and he just recently surpassed a 100 hit mark. 26 walks, and a career .435 hitter. Even though a .393 average is very impressive, it's actually lower than his .471 he had as a junior. He'll get that one back. It's 1-1. McDermott shaking his head there after the appeal call to first was not given. Popped up, foul back behind us. And it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And the pitch. Bartletta skies this one out to straightaway center. Got a little bit under it. And the catch is made by Monterey's for the second out. Here's Alvarez. Two outs for RV in the bottom of the third. They trail 2-0. And like we said, these 2 teams will have a quick turnaround playing Thursday against each other at Eustace. Their first in-season matchup since 2023, and the only one between these 2. So, didn't play each other in 2024, and now playing each other twice in the span of 5 days. No balls, 1 strike. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss that time. Big hack there. And it's 0-2. Again, McDermott, whose fastball has topped out at 93 this season. He shakes off his catcher. Looks into Alvarez and looks into his backstop. Yates, the 0-2. Fouled back. Alvarez just got a piece of that one and stayed alive. Bishop Eustace looking for a clean third after a ground out to third by Harrison and a fly out to center by Bartletta. Alvarez still working with this one, the 0-2. McDermott kicks and delivers. That one's laced out to left field, but it will be up there and caught to retire the side. Bishop Eustace still rocking and rolling. They lead 2-0 after 3 here in Sicklerville.
In life, the road ahead. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer
Top of the fourth here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Bishop Eustace 2-0 ball game. Scored one in the second on a sac fly, one in the third on a J.J. McLaughlin RBI single. He's 2 for 2. It's Sullivan, Rosenberg, and Yates for the Crusaders. Time called at the plate. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, who is the only athlete to appear on the video game cover of MLB The Show in back-to-back years? Is it A, Andrew McCutcheon, B, Aaron Judge, C, Fernando Tatis Jr., or D, Joe Mauer? That's lined right center field. That's a base hit for Sullivan. But either way, the answer will be revealed in the bottom of the fourth inning. Leadoff base hit off of Logue. We did see a pitcher going back to warm for RV. Don't know where they went. They went behind us about an inning ago, but Sullivan with a base hit. It's Eustace's fourth of the day. And Eustace is one of those teams that'll get you slowly but surely. This season specifically, they haven't really blown a lot of teams out of the water, but they certainly have taken their approach slowly. But the count's 1-0. I realized something didn't sound right. I had the wrong headset on. Grabbed it and realized, oh, that's not right. Mistakes happen. I've certainly made worse in my days. It's the 1-0. That skips out of the glove of Harrison. It kind of got picked up a little bit. Count is 1-1 though to Rosenberg. Rosenberg, a junior, batting .250, 10 for 40, 1 homer, 5 walks, 4 hit by pitches with a .350 slugging. Harrison pump fakes, doesn't go back. You heard the RV dugout start to say going, going, and then he immediately turned around and went back. Fooled him a little bit there. But Rosenberg, the 6-hitter, singled in the second but was thrown out by Harrison at second to end the inning, after Eustace got 1 run via a sacrifice fly. Now the runner goes, hit out to left field, straight away for Sprague. He makes the catch. That's the first down. Now here is Yates, the catcher. And after that fly ball, Haverstick coming out. He's at 56 pitches, but they will take care of him and they will send him out for the day. Final line for Chase Logue, the freshman, who came into this game looking pretty good, and he honestly exited with an admirable performance. He gave up 2 runs, both earned, across 2 1/3 innings. Actually, 3 1/3 innings. And the new pitcher for Rancocas Valley, as again Logue finishes with 3 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, and just 1 strikeout. The new pitcher will be number 15, Matt Corbish. And we'll be right back after this in the top of the fourth. Matt Corbish, the senior right-hander, is the pitcher in relief of Chase Logue. We go from a freshman to a senior, as Corbish yet to allow an earned run this year. 9 2/3, 2 unearned. He's walked 6 and struck out 11, and has a flat 0 ERA. That one is fouled off to the right side. His first task will be Yates. This is his 4th appearance of the year, and shockingly only his 2nd in Olympic play. He pitched 3 1/3 versus Haddonfield, 4 versus Bridgewater, and 2 1/3 versus Eastern in their 12-6 win. This could be 2, 5, 4. No 3 that time, as he couldn't get the ball down. It is a fielder's choice for the second out, but Klezix just couldn't finish the scoop. Just a little bit closer to going around the horn there, as Sullivan's retired at second. Curious if with 2 outs, Eustace will go for a courtesy runner here. Right now they're choosing not to, as Iannone is the batter. He drove in the game's first run on a sacrifice fly to center in the top of the second. Strike called. Right here in the fields of Camden County, the wind blowing, actually it looks like the wind is blowing out today, so could see some high fly ball pop here today, just like we saw it in Chemung last night with Morristown and Seneca. That one's popped up. This is going to go out of play over the head of Harrison. Look out. That almost hit John Cates down there at the scoreboard box, and it's 0-2, it looks like. 0-1, excuse me, according to the scoreboard. No, it is 0-2. I was making sure I wasn't bluffing, but I think because John almost got his noggin rocked, forgot to update the balls and strikes. Iannone dealing with a runner on first versus the new arm, Matt Corbish, the senior. 0-2. That one is up and away. As we said, this is one of 4 regional sites, one of 4 neutral sites for the Diamond Classic second round. The round of 8, it's 1-2. The round of 8 will be played on Saturday, March 10th. And in fact, the quarterfinals and semifinals will be played on the same day, with the finals being at Alcyon Park on May 13th. Not sure where the 3rd and 4th round are going to be, but I don't know how that's going to bode well for pitchers and teams who have a week off between the second game and the third, and then have to play 3 and 4 back-to-back. Bit of a slap tag there by Malcolm Harrison. It's a strikeout, and the inning is over. Bishop Eustace is held off the board, even with a Dan Haverstick pitching change, and we go to the bottom half, 2-0 BE. Connor Whittall leads us off in the bottom of the fourth. Today's trivia time question is, who is the only athlete in the history of MLB The Show, the video game, to appear on the cover in back-to-back years? Is it A, Andrew McCutchen, B, Aaron Judge, C, Fernando Tatis Jr., or D, Joe Mauer? Our producer of the day, Damian Waiters, what's your guess? Well, he was on the cover in 21, but that would be incorrect. It was D, Joe Mauer. Flash from the past. He was on the cover in back-to-back years in 2010 and 2011, the year that he won the American League MVP. Judge was on the cover in 2017, and then option A was Andrew McCutchen, who only appeared in 2013. I love picking that question because it throws everybody for a loop. Joe Mauer he might not even be a Hall of Famer, but he was just so good for that period of time that he ended up getting the cover twice. 2 Phillies have been on it. Ryan Howard in 2006, the first edition of the game, and Bryce Harper in 2019 when he signed with the Phillies. It's Whittall, Klezix, and Sprague, as McDermott already with a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. That one is a strike called. Bit of a get back there, and it's 3-1 to Whittall. Whittall, the designated hitter, 0 for 1, grounded out on a tapper to the pitcher in his first at-bat. 3 balls, 1 strike. That is in dirt, ball 4. Third walk allowed by McDermott as Rancocas Valley still searching for their first hit in this game. I think the best thing you can bargain for here if you're Rancocas Valley, you've got the middle of the order up, an opportunity to change up the narrative a little bit, but we'll have to see what Klezix can do in a 2-0 game. McDermott, fastball, strike, 0-1. McDermott has 5 strikeouts. He struck out the side after allowing 2 walks. Second was a precarious inning for RV. They got 2 runners in scoring position, but failed to score after McDermott struck out the next 3 in a row. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt. Skipped in that time. 1-1. Time called at the plate. One ball, 1 strike. Klezix takes one high, grounds it to short. They are not going to get the play at second. They do get it at first. A quick tag at second was yielded to be unhelpful. And it'll be Sprague now batting with 1 away. I think because the runner was going there, that's what broke up the double play. But Klezix kind of threw me off guard. He swung at that one that was pretty high. It was up at the letters. But he ended up getting at least something productive out of it in a 6-3 ground out. Strike called to Sprague. It's 0-1. McDermott has allowed 3 walks, but no runs, no hits, and 5 strikeouts. He shakes off his catcher twice. Brings the glove to his chest, and number 99 kicks and delivers. Fouled back. A little bit surprising that McDermott isn't really working from a stretch. I noticed that with Chase Logue, he was really insistent on the stretch as soon as Eustace had any runner on base. But McDermott really hasn't changed that delivery. There's some pitchers, especially in the modern age, that don't really need the stretch. If you throw hard enough, you've got that advantage either way, and you can take your time with the windup. Time called. He fires the pitch. And that's a kind of play right there that will not make the pitcher any happier. He's already been a little bit disgruntled behind home plate today. And a batter calling time, I mean, he was granted it, and correctly so, but it's actually healthier for the pitcher to throw, because that one's fouled back. In the terms of baseball philosophy, it's actually healthier for the pitcher to just follow through with his motion. That's why he still threw the pitch even though time was called. Sometimes the pitchers slow down and just lob the ball to the plate, but he went full speed that time. 0-2. That's a couple of foul balls there. Over to the grandstand, still 0-2. And the way I analogize it or analyze it metaphorically is that imagine there's a couple of gears in a warehouse, and imagine you stick a metal rod into it and break the gears. That's kind of what happens when the batter calls time. So it's easier to just let the pitcher follow through instead of making them stop in the middle of their motion and possibly injuring themselves. Strike 3, that's a half dozen for McDermott. Strikeout is the 6th of the day. It's the 3rd looking, and Austin Wright looks to move this runner over and get him home because RV has been struggling with getting on the board here. And as we said, this has been a turn of their heads as they've scored 10-plus runs in the last 3 games against 3 very good teams in Clearview, Eastern, and Hamilton. But today they haven't been so lucky. Again, 14-10 versus Clearview on the 25th. On Monday the 28th, 12-6 to Eastern and 13-10 versus Hamilton. It's been a high-scoring last couple of games for the Red Devils. But today has turned out to be a pretty good pitcher's duel, even with the freshman Chase Logue being relieved after 3 1/3. Bottom of the 4th, it's an 0-2 count. Runner on second for the Red Devils. 3 walks for McDermott, including 1 this inning, and 6 strikeouts. The 0-2 popped up, back out of play, and onto the other field. Of course, we're in the splash zone today. We were in the splash zone last night. Chase Kroberger for Morristown hit a home run that missed the booth by about 2 feet. Literally where our batteries are, I would say like right, maybe 2 feet to the left with where it went. Time was called. McDermott settled in. He refuses to leave his stance. He rocks back and forth and very quickly goes. That one is fouled straight back. Look out. Still 0-2. I'm almost ready to jump up there and grab one myself. Still 0-2 here. McDermott seems to be settled in. Versus the number 6 hitter, Austin Wright. 2-0 Bishop Eustace lead. McDermott set. Looks back at the runner at second, Whittall. 0-2. Right foul. Keep sending those balls out of play. By the way, an update from the Overbrook Regional. We are tied with Kingsway and Audubon. No score, 0-0. Also in the Eastern Regional, Cherokee leads Bordentown 2-0 after the 4th inning. Oh, 2. Swing and a miss. He's got to get it down to first base. He's got to throw it down. He's going to be safe. Runner gets down to third. Catcher is trying to argue that the ball didn't hit the plate. McDermott's arguing. And the catcher is trying to plead his case that the ball didn't hit the ground. I think it did. So that is going to be a strikeout and a dropped third strike. Tropiano is going to ask for a conference between the umpires because he is adamant that that ball didn't hit the ground. With 2 outs, any runner on base or any dropped third strike does go, but it had to have hit the ground first. Second base umpire, not sure if he had a better view. They're going to keep it. They are going to keep the call, and even though it's McDermott's 7th strikeout, it will put a runner on first for Liam Young. That's a big break for RV here, but they still have got to score. And I just have a feeling Bishop Eustace is getting more and more disgruntled here as the at-bats go on. That's one of those things you got to keep in the back burner of a pitcher's mind and even a catcher's mind. Yates sets up in the middle and gets Young to swing and miss. It's 0-1. By the way, a correction on the Overbrook Regional. Kevin Minnick had a typo. In the top of the 5th, it is 1-1. Both teams scored in the 4th. Also, oh, here we go. Runner's going down to second. He's going to throw it down. Oh, the ball got away. The run's going to score. And getting down to third base is Austin Wright as McDermott threw the ball to his shortstop who didn't see him. The ball went into center field. And an E1 gets RV's first run, and it gets right all the way down to third. That is one of the weirdest ways I've ever seen a run scored. But now the count's 0-1. As this has been a wild inning for the Red Devils. It's 0-2. McDermott has a chance for a 3-strikeout inning and only 2 outs. He struck out the last 2 batters, but a run is scored. 2-1. And that's a swing and a miss. McDermott picks up his 8th strikeout. He slams it, well, didn't slam his hat, but he slammed it into his hand. And Rancocas Valley gets a lucky break thanks to a Eustace miscue and has scored their first run. They cut the deficit in half in an oddball fashion, and it's 2-1 after 4. Well, if you're just joining us, we're in the top of the 5th. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. There's a fly ball to center field and a base hit for Eustace to start the 5th off of Corbish. Either way, though, you can visit 7 days a week at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. Also, if you or somebody who you know is a small business owner interested in advertising, as we're going to have a pinch runner at first. It's going to be Eustace's number 8. Please excuse me, on the roster here, that is going to be Colin Boyle. But either way, though, if you or somebody you know is a small business owner who is interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, you can get your name in the advertising game in front of over 100,000 annual viewers on YouTube and over 6,000 combined followers on social media. Just send us an advertising inquiry at our email, thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. That email is in the description of our YouTube videos, and we'll send you a flyer with information on how to get your business advertised in front of South Jersey's largest independent broadcasting network. Here's the first pitch. And if you don't own a small business but you'd still like to contribute, we are not being paid for today's broadcast. We always try to promote our Venmo a little bit, DW Broadcasting. DW Broadcasting, no spaces, no hyphens. I'm a 19-year-old college student at Rowan College of South Jersey. I do this mostly for the love of the game and for the passion of broadcasting. And we are proud to bring you coverage of the Diamond Classic here between Bishop Eustace and Rancocas Valley. Any support is appreciated, but of course not required, as it's always free to watch here on DWB, and that's what we take pride in. Eustace started off the fifth with a base hit, a little bit of a head scratcher there, a little bit of chin music. Count is 2-1, according to the home plate umpire. Rogers started off with a base hit. And the lineup's back up to the top for Bell, who lined out into a 5-4 double play his first time. That's lined on the 2-1 out to left field. It is caught by Sprague. He's been very good at running those fly balls down because Eustace has just been pelting the outfield with fly balls out to right, out to center. Sprague has now been hit 4 times out and left and twice by Bell. I mean, you've got a right-handed heavy lineup, and even the lefties are spraying the ball the other way as well. So it's going to make an interesting conundrum here as Rancocas Valley has really put their outfield to the test. We talked about it when we visited RV on April 4th in their 4-2 win over Cherry Hill East. This is a game where if you don't have a good defense in the Olympic Conference, you don't stand a chance. Throw down to second, hits the second man in line right, but the runner does get down to second as Harrison's throw was a little bit misguided. Boyle advanced to second, and it's an 0-1 count after a strike called to Fiola, the left fielder in today's contest. Here's the 0-1, outside, 1-1. So Bishop Eustace was up 2-0, and then a series of unfortunate events occurred in the bottom of the fourth. A controversial dropped third strike call brought home, or didn't bring home anybody, but it did get the runners on the corners, and then an E1 by the pitcher McDermott got home the game's, or RV's first run. Strike called, 1-2 to Fiola. One ball, 2 strikes. Time called by Fiola. Look at Corbish. He's still looking down his catcher as Fiola readjusts. Looks back at second with the shortstop closely guiding. 1-2. Fouled back. Corbish barely made contact there. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fiola. He's 0 for 1, a fly out to center, and a walk in his 2 appearances today. One, 2. As some wind gust picks up, that's going to go into right field for a base hit. Gets past the glove of right. A huge stop sign at third. The third base coach was almost on top of home plate to deliver the stop sign. He was way up there. It will be a base hit, though, with 1 away for Fiola. Yeah, that was a bit odd. Usually the coach's box is there, but usually that coach's box is pretty much ignored at the high school level, and even at the major league level. It's more of a suggestion, if anything, but it's kind of like in soccer. They have the coach's area where you've got like a 10, 12-foot space. Haverstick calls time. He's going to go out to the hill here to talk to Corbish as he's got runners on the corners and 1 away. Let's take a look at the week ahead on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. First of all, later on today, we stay here at Timber Creek for a matchup between the Delsea Crusaders and the Haddon Heights Garnets at 4 p.m. It's right now 2:25. We're in the top of the 5th. Looks like we'll still be good on time for later on today. And then tomorrow, we'll be at Belmar all day for the American Ball Hockey Alliance Eastern Regionals from the Chipmunks all the way up to the freshmen. It's 5 games total starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday. On Monday, we've got an Olympic Conference matchup with another familiar friend, Bishop Eustace. They play at 3:45 versus Cherry Hill West at West. Tuesday will be a night game, the 13th annual Elmer Classic, a matchup between two Salem County franchises in the Group 1 division, Woodstown and Shalleck. That game is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 7th, or rather Tuesday the 6th. Big thanks to Jonathan Cummings and the SIAA Booster Club for having us out there on Tuesday. And the first pitch. Strike called. Wednesday, we will be at Shawnee for a matchup between Cherokee and Shawnee on Wednesday. And then Thursday will be a classic colonial rivalry between Haddon Heights and Audubon at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Here's the 0-1. Runner goes. This one is jammed foul, and it's 0-2. By the way, it's non-diamond action, but Pennsville fell to Millville today, 6-5. Peyton O'Brien homered in the game. That one is pump faked by Harrison. Runner gets down to second. By the way, down the shore in the Ocean City Regional, St. Augustine leads Morristown 7-0 in the second inning. Fiola on second, Rogers on third, the pinch runner, courtesy runner, Colin Boyle. 1-2 with one away. Lined, center field base hit. Getting that one down is McLaughlin. He just keeps on producing. He's going to have an RBI single. He's now got 2 on the day. He is 3 for 3. And the number 3 hitter keeps on doing his thing. It's 3-1. Runner does get held up at third, so it is just a 1-run single. And Dante Matarese is the batter. As Corbish up to 21 pitches here in his relief outing here in the top of the 5th. Matarese 0 for 2, fly out to center and a strikeout in his 2 at-bats. Inside. By the way, in the Eastern Regional, Cherokee leads Bordentown 4-0 in the top of the 6th. One ball, no strikes. And the pitch. Oh, they're going to throw back to third. The ball's going to get away. It's dropped at third. They're going to throw it to the plate. Not in time. Eustace scores. Looking back at the pitcher a little bit there. Fayola comes in. 2 spot for Eustace. As a throw that didn't go there makes it 4-1. That'll be scored as an E1 there, as it looks like some contact at third between Young and Fayola. The ball, as a result, got away, and it allowed Fayola to score. So McLaughlin now at second base. The 1-0 outside, 2-1 here. I mean, Rancocas Valley just still trying to hang on in their bullpen here. Swing and a miss. Audubon did take the lead. It's 2-1. They lead 2-1 in the 6th. One, 2, or 2-1 rather. Strike called. I think the count's now 2-2. So Matarese with 1 away, runner in scoring position. Eustace trying to get a more comfortable lead here. They've scored 2, and the 2-2. Line, first base side, foul, just barely down the right field line. McLaughlin got all the way halfway to home plate before he's got to turn around and head on back. Two with Matarese, again 0 for 2. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball out towards second. Right, kicks it off of him, and the ball's going to skip all the way in the left field. The runner will score. McLaughlin. Runner gets down to second as Wright kind of kicked the ball inadvertently into left center. And Eustace now makes it 5-1. An odd play there. It'll be an infield hit that gets stretched out to second base. Actually, it looks like that'll be maybe an RBI double. An odd one at that. But now here is Max Sullivan. It's 3 straight hits for Eustace. They've had 4 in this inning, and the bats are red hot. First pitch. Strike called to Sullivan, 0-1. Corbish looks at his catcher, looks back at second, kicks and delivers. Laces that one foul. 0-2 here. Don't forget, second game of the day, Delsea and Haddon Heights at 4 p.m. today. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2. That one's in the dirt. With the very deep Timber Creek backstop, Harrison has to go a long way to get that ball. And the runner gets down the third. So Matarese moves up to third, and already a big inning for Bishop Eustace. They're 90 feet away from making it even bigger. One, 2. Into dirt. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 1 away for Sullivan, who's reached base twice. An error and a single. 1 for 2. And the 2-2 from Corbish is outside. 3-2. Dealing with some control issues here. You wonder if RV is going to try to dip into that bullpen a little more going forward. But with RV, again, they've won their last 3 straight. And looking to get back on the winning mend here. That one is going to skip away. And with the deep backstop, the run will score. It's 4 for Eustace. They lead it now 6-1. And a double whammy there as a walk gets charged to Corbish. And the run scores on the wild pitch. Clapping it up here for Rosenberg. Gotta wonder in this situation how RV is going to respond. If you recall, despite their 1 run in the bottom of the 4th, they do not have any hits at the moment. McDermott has struck out 7. Runner goes. Low, Harrison bobbles it. He gets down to second. Strike called on the outside corner. 1-1 here for Corbish. Yeah, I mean, this is a big spot for Bishop Eustace here. They've put the game in their hands, but they just have to try not to lose it. By the way, there is a right-hander warming up in the pen down the left field line for Rancocas Valley. And the pitch, low. Runner gets to third. The pitcher warming up is Blake Sansoni, another senior. Sullivan now to third. Here's the pitch. Strike called. Gonna be 2-2 here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 6-1, Bishop Eustace. This is our second time seeing Eustace this year. They beat Kingsway 6-0 in the Ralph Shaw tournament. That skips in, and another run will score. The Timber Creek backstop proves unforgiving. And it's now 7-1 as the bases have been cleared again. Count is 3-2, and Well, let's just say 3 of Eustace's 5 runs this inning have scored on non-batted balls. 2 wild pitches. And 5 of the 6 batters to hit here have reached. Rogers had a single, Bell flew out to left, and then 3 straight hits followed by a walk. Strike 3, late. And he got him. There's 2 down there. So Rosenberg down on strikes here, and there's 2 away for Yates with the bases empty. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a humbling inning here if you're RV. This has been a very humbling one. It's been a little bit rough. It's been a little bit uneasy. They've scored 5 runs. But you can't get your head out of this game. Especially in the Diamond Classic, this is the tournament where dreams and upsets are made of, and Bishop Eustace is a state powerhouse. They've been real good this year at 11-4. Rancocas Valley's had an up and down season. They've beaten some of the best, and they've lost to other teams that might be a tier or 2 below them. I mean, they're 9-7 this year, but they're also playing in the stacked Olympic Conference. No matter who you are in the Olympic, none of your matchups are ever going to be easy. We see that in basketball all the time. We covered a lot of Olympic basketball this past year with Cherokee, with some with RV, some with Camden Catholic. None of the matchups that you will have will ever be easy. 3-0 is fouled. At bat stays alive. Just went out of play. 3-1. They'll need some baseballs here. 8-9-1 for RV. In the bottom of the 5th will be Adams, Harrison, and Bartletta. So maybe a time to start anew. Three balls, 2 strikes. That's at least what the scoreboard says in left center. 8th batter of the inning for Bishop Eustace, and the pitch is outside. It can't be 3-2 then. I'm reading the scoreboard here, and I'm getting thrown off my rocker here. Yeah, I have no idea. Hit out towards right. It won't matter this time as Alvarez is there, and the inning is over. Bishop Eustace makes their mark with a 5-run 5th inning as 2 runs come home on wild pitches and 8 batters come to play. We go to the bottom of the 5th here at Timber Creek. Bishop Eustace jumps out to a 7-1 lead. McDermott still rolling in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lookout. Trails up and in to Adams. 8-9-1 for the Red Devils. They trail 7-1. This game looked like it was a lot more winnable for RV. But Adams, Harrelson, and Bartletta bat. 8-9-1 for the Red Devils. And RV's getting a pitcher warm with the weighted balls down the right field line. 2-0. That's number 9, the sophomore Connor Gant. But Bishop Eustace brought 8 men to the plate in the top half, scored 5. And it was kind of a rocky inning from start to finish. 4 hits, 2 runs back-to-back scored on wild pitches with this very deep backstop here at Timber Creek. Here's the 2-0. Well inside, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Strike called. So Kevin Minnick is at the Overbrook Regional, and I've been so confused because he said the score was 1-1, and then he posted the next inning 0-0, and that'll be ball 4 to Adams. It'll bring up Malcolm Harrison. But then he said in the top of the 6th the score was 2-1 Audubon, and then he just posted a video in the bottom of the 6th, Kingsway RBI single Austin Schmidt, and it's now 2-1 Kingsway. So I don't know what the score is there. It could be 1-1, it could be 2-1 Kingsway, it could be 2-2. I have no idea. We do know in the Eastern Regional, Cherokee leads Bordentown 7-0 in the bottom of the 6th. As a strike called. Oh, 1. Harrison pops it up foul back behind us towards the garage. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch from McDermott. That's the 8th strikeout for him today. Harrison down on strikes. It does turn the lineup card back over to Bartletta at the top. Bartletta 0 for 2. Strikeout and a fly out to center. He's barreled up the ball a couple times, but just hasn't gotten the result he wanted. As McDermott ready to go. Here's the first pitch. No, strike called. 0-1. Squared up for the bunt. McDermott saying that he went. They didn't even appeal that one down, but they said it's 1-1. Again, just seems like McDermott, he's got a short memory. He was upset about the call, and then he just comes back, he uncorks one and finds the strike zone somehow. Been very resilient in that regard. 1-1. Inside. Almost hit him. Throw down is way high. Goes into center field. Runner's going to get to third. Throw down is also going to get away. RV's going to try to score. Underhanded flip to the plate. Not in time. How about a Little League play? RV scores their 2nd run as Henry Adams goes from first to home in the blink of an eye at 7-2. That is unbelievable. So McDermott threw a ball inside to Bartletta. Catcher threw it down to second, airmailed him. The center fielder missed the third baseman, and the ball ricocheted off the Eustace dugout. And despite a very good effort by Bell, the run did not score. And it's 2-1. Base is empty now, 2-1. Bartletta lines it out towards left center field. It's deep, it's over the head of everybody. Rancocas Valley has their first hit of the game as it's off the left center field wall, and despite 2 runs across, they finally deliver with their first base knock. It's a 1-out double, and Bartletta has put Rancocas Valley on the hit column with 1 out in the 5th. Bartletta with a double, and now it's Jalen Alvarez. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a line out to left. Again, he's another one of those guys that has barreled up the ball pretty well, but just hasn't had anything to show for it. First pitch. Uncorks a curveball inside. Another pitcher warming up in the Rancocas Valley pen. Believe that's Connor Gant down there. And then there's another arm for Eustace warming up right beside him. McDermott looks back. 1-0. Strike. 1-1. McDermott kicks and delivers. Fastball. Oh! That one is going to hurt. Alvarez walks it off, and he gets a hit by pitch, but you could hear the thud of that baseball as it looks like it hit him in the ankle. He is going to try to walk it off, and Haverstick going down there to first to try and make sure that he is okay. The sophomore who reaches base for the first time today does put 2 runners on. Tropiano is coming out, so this hit by pitch could prompt a pitching change. Well, Tropiano's shaking his head at McDermott, and they will take him out of the game. So Eamon McDermott gives up 2 runs, and shockingly, that Jake Bartletta double was his first hit. He leaves the game with 8 strikeouts, 1 hit, and 2 runs, only 1 earned. And in the bottom of the 5th inning, we're going to have a 7-2 ball game and a new pitcher for Bishop Eustace, and Jalen Alvarez still being checked out down at first. We'll be right back. 7-2 Crusaders over the Red Devils.
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play, the force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is 1 out. After Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play. Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a 400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, 331 career mark and a 430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just
Dan Pasalacqua is the new pitcher for Bishop Eustace. We've seen back-to-back Division I commits today. We saw Eamon McDermott throw the first 4 and a third, committed to Georgetown. This time, Pasalacqua in 2 years will be headed to Newark, Delaware, committed to the Delaware Blue Hens. One of several South Jersey players headed down there, along with Grant Fournier of Cherry Hill West. There's a bunt foul. Pasalacqua has been lights out for his first 3 years with the Crusaders. A career 0.73 ERA in 14 2/3 this season, 28 2/3 in his career. 27 strikeouts this year out of a total 47. After a 3.5 ERA as a freshman, he rebounded for 0.58 last year and 0.48 to this point in the season. 0-1. Steps off. It's Connor Whittall batting with 2 runners on. Runners on first and second, and 1 away. 2 runs have scored for Rancocas Valley, 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th, down 7-2. Double steal, and nobody gets a throw down. The strike was called to Whittall, but everybody advances. And a win-win there for RV as they now have 2 runners in scoring position. And again, you got to think about the second inning where they left 2 runners on in scoring position and then didn't score. How much did that impact them? That's going to skip away. RV's going to get another run home, sliding into the fence, not going to get there. And Rancocas Valley slowly creeping themselves back into contention. It's 7-3. Bartletta was the one who came around. Alvarez now on third. Here's the 1-2 from Passalacqua. Fastball up and away at the letters, 2-2. This is pretty incredible here from RV, even though they're down by 4 runs. They are keeping themselves by any means possible in this ballgame. First run of the game was on a dropped third strike. And 2-2. Line, left field, over the head of Bell, it's a base hit. Holding at first, and Whittall pumps the brakes. Alvarez scores opposite field, RBI single for the Red Devils. They now trail 7-4 off of the new pitcher, Passalacqua, in his first batter. So I apologize, the first run of the game came in on an E1 as a throw down to second got away, runner scored from second base. The second run came in because of kind of a Little League play. Catcher tried to throw the ball down to second, airmailed the second baseman, throw it into center field, center fielder airmailed it, and Henry Adams scored from first base. And now the 4th comes across. The 3rd came in on another wild pitch. In fact, there's been 11 runs combined in this game. It's 7-4, but 4 of the 11 combined runs have been on either wild pitches or passed balls. 1-0 is away. Passalacqua slipped off the mound there. Again, with these 2 teams being at a neutral site, they might not be used to the mound entirely. The mound here at Timber Creek seems rather standard, but if you're a pitcher who's used to this and is used to being this dominant, it may mess up your psyche. Another one low, as Passalacqua still trying to fight this mound. It's 3-0. And instead of fighting the batter, Klezix ends up seeming to have more of an internal battle with the hill he stands on. Haddon Heights has arrived behind us. The back-to-back sectional runner-ups in South Jersey Group 2, 3-0. Strike called. Haddon Heights 12-2 this year. They beat Sterling 10-4 in the first round of the Diamond. And then they'll face Delsey, which is not here yet, but they are 14-0 on the season. Strike called. Throw down to second. He did not slide, and he's safe. Close call there as the runner did not slide, but he does get in safely. And Whittall gets down there. You could hear Haverstick's frustration with the fact that he didn't slide. Here's the 3-2. Fouled off by Klezix. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ground ball out to short. It's picked up. They're going to go for the lead runner. He is safe. Eustace tried to make a flailing play at short. It's going to be an infield hit for Klezix. And now we're going to have an infield visit here with the catcher Yates and Passalacqua. Our view was a little bit obstructed there down at third, but he got in there safely. A high-scoring 5th inning. 5 runs across for Bishop Eustace, and RV has put the tying run up to the plate now in Joey Sprague, the sophomore, who's been hitting over 400 this year. So if there's one guy you want to bat in a critical situation with one away, they've got it. First pitch to the left-hander Sprague from Passalacqua. Fastball at the letters, 1-0. Seems like Passalacqua, even in this adversity, is keeping better composure than his predecessor. I mean, McDermott was pretty outspoken on some of those calls that he didn't agree with. 1-0. Strike called to Sprague, right down the belt. And it's 1-1. Sprague to be followed by Austin Wright, the second baseman. Throw back to third. Tried to go for the third to first move there, didn't go. Pump faked it twice. One. Fastball outside. 2-1. This has been an odd game. 8 total runs across in the 5th. 5 in favor of Eustace, 3 in favor of RV in what is a 7-4 game. As RV has put to the test 2 Division I pitchers. There's a ground ball out to first. They will yield. Run scores at 7-5. Kind of a win-win for both teams there. Eustace gets the second out, but a run does score. It will be 3 unassisted. And Sprague drives in the 5th run of the ball game for RV at 7-5. Scoring is Whittall. Klezix gets down to second. I think most likely Rosenberg was thinking about a double play, but honestly, in that case, you go for the safer choice. And with that, he was right on top of the first base bag, got the out, but did allow to run the score. 2 outs, and Wright takes a first pitch strike on the changeup. Good call there, and it's 0-1. Top of the 6th for Eustace will be 8-9-1. Iannone, Rogers, and Bell. Another fastball there that catches 0-2. This is the 8th batter of the inning for Rancocas Valley in by far their best inning yet. 4 runs. They crack through finally the first hit of the game for the Red Devils in what has been a 9-run inning combined between both bats. 0-2, runner goes. Foul down the right field side, out towards the softball field and onto the softball field. Again, don't forget, next game of the day will be Delsea versus Haddon Heights, 4 o'clock. Haddon Heights coming in at 12-2. Delsea at 14-0, an unbeaten, one of the 5 remaining unbeaten teams in New Jersey. I mean, we were talking about it with the good folks over at Jersey Baseball Nation. We were saying there's at the time there were 6 undefeated teams remaining, and 5 of them were in South Jersey. Northern Burlington, Delsea, Governor Livingston, Gloucester Catholic, Cherokee, and Shallock. Now, Shallock lost in the first round at the Diamond. Cherokee still unbeaten. Gloucester Catholic still unbeaten, and Delsea still unbeaten. Same with NBC. That's high. A bit of an attempt there by Wright, but he did not go around as the fastball was high above the letters, 1-2. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Passalacqua comes back in a big way with a strikeout, but the damage is done. Any lead that Bishop Eustace had in the top half of the 5th has been matched, as Rancocas Valley scores 4 runs and gets Jake Bartletta to give their first hit of the game. It's 7-5 after 5. Eustace sent 8 men to the plate in the top of the 5th. RV said, yeah, we can do that. And they sent 8 men to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. Grand total of 16 batters came to the dish for both sides. And it is now a 7-5 game. We entered the 5th inning in a 2-1 Bishop Eustace lead. We left it in a 7-5 Bishop Eustace lead. So it's a 2-run game, but still very manageable here for the Red Devils. Here's the 0-1. Tapper foul. Franco Iannone is the batter. He drove in the game's first run on a sacrifice fly to center in the second. As we mentioned, Eustace scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and then got 5 across in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. High and away to Iannone, 1-2. 8-9-1 due up for Tropiano and the Crusaders. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 on the outside corner. That'll be the second strikeout for Corbish. And it's Iannone's second strikeout of the day. First out. Hitting for Rogers will be number 9, which on our card is Matt Stern, who would be the backup catcher, batting behind Rogers. One away. Nobody on after the strikeout looking to Iannone. Home plate umpire puts his mask back on, and we're ready to go with Corbish. Again in a 7-5 game. These two teams are next to each other in the bracket. So the winner of these two games will play each other on Saturday, May 10th in the quarterfinal round. Stern takes a strike. 0-1. Delsey just arriving with their first-year head coach Vincent Lundino, who took over for the longtime Joe Smith. 1-1. Smith coached the team from 2019 to 2024, picked up a couple sectional championships along the way. He's won sectional titles with 2 teams now. He did it with Delsey in his first tenure. Then he went to Williamstown, won one there in 2015, then came back to Delsey and won one last year, and in 2023 as well. And now he's taken over the program at Mainland, which was preceded by Billy Kern. Lined out to center field. This one's got some distance to it. Bartletta is under it, and he's there. 2 down. So after a 5-run outburst in the 5th inning, Bishop Eustace has gone a little bit quieter here in the 6th. But this game is open now. Rancocas Valley didn't need the big powerful hits or the big powerful swings to make an impact. They did that just with their patience. They scored a couple runs on wild pitches. They've scored a couple runs on errors. By no means has this game been pretty or clean. It's been a gritty, kind of a mess that's been really devolved into what baseball is all about. Fundamentals. If you can't do the fundamentals, you're not going to win the games. There's a strike there. And RV has been battle-tested. They've lost to teams that they probably shouldn't have lost to, but they've beaten teams that some would argue are better than them. They have been proving everyone wrong, but yet simultaneously proving some of the naysayers right. And they're 9-7 this year. A win would get them to 10-7 going into their Monday game versus PVI. That one is a strike called. Bell disagreed. I apologize. Their next game is at Cherry Hill East on Monday. They've got 3 straight road games after this. Here's the 1-2. That one's high. They're at East on Monday, Lenape on Wednesday, and Eustace on Thursday. Again, these two teams which, if not for the Diamond, have not met since 2023. Specifically May 11th, the game that Eustace won 6-1. But that has been their first matchup. This has been their first matchup since 23 and since post-COVID when Rancocas Valley left the BCSL and joined the Olympic Conference. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. Way up and in. It gets behind Bell. Flicks the bat out. And Haverstick is going to come out and looks like he's going to talk to Corbish here. The relief pitcher is at 58 pitches, which that will mean his last of the game. The new pitcher for the Red Devils is going to be number 9, the sophomore Connor Gant, who we saw earlier in the season versus Cherry Hill East. We'll be right back. Eustace has a 2-out base runner on a 2-out walk from Dante Bell. It's 7-5, Crusaders over the Red Devils. Connor Gant is the new pitcher for RV. He's got a 4.2 ERA and 16 2/3 this season as a sophomore. 11 walks, 15 strikeouts after, how about that? Corbish's day is done after 58 pitches. One's outside. To Fiola. Fiola 1 for 2. Fly out, a walk, and a single in his last at-bat as a part of a 5-run, 8-batter 5th inning. Runner goes. Throw down to second base is not in time. The throw's going to bounce off the edge of the infield dirt and go into center field. Bartletta will pick that one up, and Eustace now gets down to third. So the throw down by Harrison was a little bit awry. And Bell now advances to third with 2 down and very quickly a 2-0 count here to Fiola. Two balls, 1 strike. Two one. Outside, and it's 3-1 now. Three-one to Fiola. Inside, back-to-back free passes. And Gant in some trouble as he inherits Bell, but now is responsible for Fiola at first, bringing up J.J. McLaughlin, who has been trouble all day. He's 3 for 3 with 3 singles to be exact and 2 RBIs. His last 2 at-bats have resulted in RBI singles, 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. Again, as a part of that explosive 5th inning that has really turned this game on its head and has brought the offense way up. First pitch with 2 outs, outside. 1 ball, no strikes to McLaughlin. Fastball, no, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Runner goes, the ball skips away, and Eustace is gonna get another run. Run comes in on the wild pitch. The runner's going down to third base. He's in there safely. And it's now a 3-0 count that makes it 8-5 Crusaders. As Bell comes in to score. Strike called on the green light there. Ball 4. RV's assistant coach is not happy, saying you gotta call some of those. It's 3 straight walks for the Red Devils, 2 against Gant. And in just 10 pitches, a run has scored, and Haverstick coming out here. I didn't see anybody warming up in either the Eustace or the RV pen, which is kind of a shared pen down the left field line. Some more out-of-town scoreboard updates in the Diamond Classic. At the Overbrook Regional, Audubon scored 4 runs and 3 errors in the top of the 7th. It's 5-2 going to the bottom half. St. Augustine beat Morristown on a mercy rule down in Ocean City at their regional, 10-0. Christopher walked it off on an RBI single, a game in 5 innings. Cherokee shut out Bordentown 8-0 in the second round at the Eastern Regional. Don't see too much outside of that. I think the 4 o'clock games today at Ocean City is going to be Gloucester Catholic and Clearview. At the Eastern Regional, it's going to be Eastern, and I believe, actually I don't remember who they're playing. I got to take a look at the bracket, but either way, second game at Overbrook is going to be Northern Burlington and Mainland. And the second game here, Delsey and Haddon Heights. There's a strike call. They're going to back pick to third. He is safe. However, the runner does get down to second. So Fiola on third, McLaughlin on second. And it's an 0-1 count with 2 away. Gant has already thrown 11 pitches, but has yet to record an out. There's a strike, 0-2. RV looking to avoid any more damage as Bishop Eustace's offensive front has been a little bit unforgiving. In an 8-5 ball game, they score their 4th run on a wild pitch or passed ball today. That's half. Line. Out past the glove of right. That will get 9 and maybe 10. Throw to the plate, not in time. You can make that a 10-5 game as a 2-run single to right by Dante Matares gives him his 2nd and 3rd RBIs and some much-needed insurance as Gant allows his 3rd straight base runner scoring Fiola and McLaughlin. He had an RBI double in the 5th and now adds 2 more ribbies to his resume. It is 10-5 as 8 runs in the last 2 innings for the Crusaders. 5 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th, possibly more to come with Sullivan. He's reached base 3 times, a single, error, and a walk, not in that order. There's a strike. One-0 from Gant. Breaking ball low and in, 2-0. What happened here? Time was called. Oh, a wiffle ball from the other field. Somebody was playing, and the ball ended up at the third base side. I wasn't sure what happened there, but that's what it was. A wiffle ball went its way onto the field. Throw down to second base is not in time. Count is 3-0. Gant's in a lot of trouble here, and RV hasn't warmed up anybody. Oh, no, never mind. I apologize. Here's the pitch. Strike called. Yeah, count is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sullivan, who will be followed up by the first baseman Rosenberg. 3 runs across for Eustace in what has been a wild game so far. The 3-1 on its way. 2-2 out to center field. Keep reading the scoreboard wrong. That's a diving catch. Jake Bartletta came down with it on a beautiful play in right center field, and the inning is over. They do save a couple of runs, but 3 come in to score. Bishop Eustace has crossed double digits. It's 10-5.
Literally, they've been here twice, and they're about to score, or on the doorstep of scoring 50 for the second game in a row. Xavier Terry Brown. He is still on his feet. He's being shoved forward into the end zone. But who's got the ball? Look at Jason Solomon. The ball magically appeared in Woodbury's hands, and now they're back at the 50. This one's going back. This one's going to go to the distance. I don't see any flags. Did that just go for 100 yards? I think it did. I do not see any flags as...
In what has been a wild game so far. The 3-1 on its way. 2-2 out to center field. Keep reading the scoreboard wrong. That's a diving catch. Jake Bartletta came down with it on a beautiful play in right center field. Back here at bottom of the 6th inning. 10-5, Passalacqua still in versus Alvarez. First pitch is a strike. Bishop Eustace, after batting 8 in the 5th, batted 7th in the top half. Swing and a miss there, 0-2 from Passalacqua. RV on their 3rd pitcher of the day. The 2nd for Eustace. He's at 22 pitches, barely made contact with it. Also, I apologize, that is not Alvarez, that is Avery Ash. The junior who is hitting for the third baseman, Liam Young. The only bat to not hit in the 5th as a part of a 4 spot for RV. Passalacqua kicks and delivers the 0-2. Hot shot foul down the third base line. Don't forget later today, stay tuned for more Dan Wilkins Broadcasting action in the Diamond Classic between the Delsea Crusaders and the Haddon Heights Garnets. Some extra media here as well, taking in some of this action, and most likely, if they're here, then that means Delsea's going to be starting their number 1 guy. That's a swing and a miss by Ash. First out of the 6th. It's the 2nd in a row for Passalacqua. That's the first out. Here's Henry Adams in a 10-5 game. Outside, 1-0. Both teams have been a little bit disgruntled with balls and strikes today. That one's low. Passalacqua kicks and delivers. Way up. Count will be 3-0 here, it looks like. Versus the shortstop, Adams. Here's the pitch from Passalacqua. Strike called. Whoever's doing the scoreboard has had some lapses today. He got a strike there. 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Passalacqua with the payoff. Swing and a miss. A huge comeback from a 3-0 count to strike out Adams. He has struck out 3 in a row, and now it's not going to be Malcolm Harrison. Instead, the hitter is going to be Ricky Doppler, the junior. Second pinch hitter this inning for the Red Devils as Ash led off. Adams stayed in his spot, but now it's Doppler. Swing and a miss there, 0-1. Doppler making his first appearance of the season for the Red Devils. Has no prior stats, but a ground ball dribbled out towards second. The throw to first is off a little bit, but he's able to bring the bag down in time to retire the side. 1-2-3 for Passalacqua after a rocky 5th. We go to the 7th. Eustace looking for some insurance and looking to shut this thing down. It is 10-5.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball to center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor.
Top of the 7th here as Bishop Eustace looks for some insurance here in Sicklerville at Timber Creek High School. Bishop Eustace with 8 runs in the past 2 innings. 5 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. That one is high and away. As we start the 7th with Rosenberg, Yates, and Iannone. And a lot of people showing up for the Delsey and Haddon Heights game that follows this. But still a good crowd for the first game. That's going to skip in the dirt. 2-0. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Two-one is the call. "21 pitches for Gant, the sophomore. Says yes, 2-2. Yeah, this is going to be a good slate of games. I mean, listen, just 2 today, and I won't complain. Eustace and RV, 2 Olympic teams that have had 2 very different paths of getting here. Eustace had a pitcher's duel 3-2 win over Cherry Hill East, and a late home run sealed the fate. There's a swing and a miss. Gant picks up the K. And there's 1 out. Now it's back to Yates. Rosenberg strikes out for the 2nd time today. But in addition to that, you also have to consider that Rancocas Valley had a very different first-round game. Again, first round for Bishop Eustace with 3-2 over Cherry Hill East at home. RV was on the road and won 13-10 over Hamilton in a slugfest. RV does send a pitcher warming out to the left field bullpen. I think that's Sansoni. And there is a pitcher also warming up for Bishop Eustace. Count is 2-0. Here with 1 down. Strike. 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike from Gant, who seems to be getting in a rhythm here. That's lined center field by Yates. Bartletta diving in. Not diving in, but racing in. He lets the ball fall. That'll be a 1-out base hit. As Yates gets aboard. Running for him at first base will be number 17, Chris Romeo, as he steps in versus Iannone. Bishop Eustace with 11 hits today. Outside 1-0. 10-5 in the 7th. This game was pretty low scoring until it wasn't. 5 runs in the top of the 5th. RV responded with 4 runs, all in unusual fashions in the bottom half of the 5th. And Eustace returned with 3 in the top half, and that's where the score holds 10-5. 1-1 is the call. That one just touched the outside corner of the plate. Two balls, 1 strike. Hit out towards left straight away. It's actually going to go out towards center field. Sprague moved over, but Bartletta made the catch. Iannone is retired for the 2nd out. Now is number 38. Is Cole Simon here. The 3rd man to grab a bat in the number 9 spot. Rogers, Stern, and now Simon. There's a line drive. Out in the left field, there's a base hit. Cole Simon gets a hit. Round's first stops there. Sprague picks it up, and 2 singles for the Crusaders brings us to a 2-base runner situation here for Dante Bell. Bell 0 for 3. He has a walk, but otherwise 2 flyouts to left and a line out into a double play. First pitch, way up and into Bell. Ball pops out of the glove of Harrison. By the way, the final from the Overbrook Regional of the Diamond Classic, Audubon 5, Kingsway 2. 4 runs for the Green Wave in the top of the 7th, including 3 errors by the Dragons. Lance Furness picked up the win, Evan Paxos with the save, Nate Bott with the loss. 1-0. Bell trails inside. He's had a couple go his way, and it's 2-0 here. Eustace looking for insurance. They scored 5 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and now have 2 runners on. 2-0 count with 2 outs to number 2. Strike called, 2-1. Bell takes a strike. Bell got under it to left field. Sprague, Bartletta going for the same real estate, and Bartletta makes the catch to retire the side. Last swings for RV as they trail 10-5 in the second round of the 51st Annual Diamond Classic. We'll be right back. Last chance for Rancocas Valley here in the second round of the Diamond Classic. They trail it 10-5 in the bottom of the 7th. The Delaware commit, Pasalacqua, misses inside to Bartletta. Again, the batter who hit .417 as a junior, a career batting average over .350, committed to nationally ranked Division III program Rowan down in Glassboro. 1, 2, and 3. Down by 5. It's the best 3 men you want in the order. Bartletta, Alvarez, and Whittall. Outside by Pasalacqua, 2-0. He's up to 34 pitches in relief. Strike called. 2-1. Line. Oh, it almost hit Pasalacqua right in the backside. It's a base hit for Bartletta, his second of the day. He had the first hit of the game in the 5th, and now he starts the 7th with a knock. A ringer right back through the middle. And now it's Alvarez. By the way, some other final scores have come in. Doan beat Penn Tech 14-7. Glassboro beat Paulsboro 4-1. There's a strike. Shawnee beat West Windsor Plainsboro South 6-3. Millville beat Pennsville 6-5. Oh, 1. Outside to Alvarez. That one's outside. Again, the finals from the 1 o'clock game. It seems like all 3 other ones are in except for this one. This is the last game on. St. Augustine shut out Morristown 10-zip. Cherokee beat Bordentown 8-zip, and Audubon came back to beat Mainland 5-2. That skips inside. It hit Alvarez. And he'll fire the bat back to his dugout, as for the second time today, Alvarez has been hit, and a shipment of ibuprofen may be coming his way. Here's Whittall. 2 on, and nobody out. The winner of this game will play the winner of Delsea and Haddon Heights on Saturday, May 10th in the 12 o'clock game. So we know Audubon is in the quarterfinals. They'll play the winner of NBC, Northern Burlington, and Mainland. Here's Whittall. 1 for 2. Ground out in the first inning, a walk in the 4th, and a single. An RBI single in the 5th as a part of that major 4-run inning for the Red Devils. It will be 10-1 without them. 1-0. Strike at the knees. 1-1 here. Two-1. Whittall, the junior. Hitting it well. 367 average with a homer, 5 extra base hits, 11 for 30 this year, 667 slugging. And Pasalacqua steps off. Again, every pitcher to don the mound for the Eustace Crusaders today has been a Division I prospect. Eamon McDermott of Georgetown. And for the past few innings, Dan Pasalacqua, future Delaware Blue Hen. 2-1. Inside, very similar spot to before, and it's 3-1. The Rancocas Valley dugout getting fired up. It's going to be a warning to the Bishop Eustace dugout as they are unhappy with the balls and strikes. And in a crucial part of the game, the tensions are just going to be a little bit heightened. That's just how it is. The 3-1 is a strike called. 3-2. I was a little bit surprised there that he called that a strike. Usually, if you upset the umpire with balls and strikes, you are not going to get any favorability. And nothing that is maybe a 50-50 will be flipped in your favor. But the count is 3-2 here. Pasalacqua to Whittall. Fouled back. Just got under it and kept the at-bat alive. On deck will be the first baseman, Carter Klezix. As Rancocas Valley trailing 10-5 in this one. 3-2. Inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded. 3 straight have reached for the Red Devils. Single hit by pitch and a walk. The trainer for this ball game at Timber Creek is coming out and giving the umpire a towel due to the weather today. It is going to get up to 85 degrees, and making sure that the umpire's okay. He may have asked for that towel. He probably did, just because, again, it's getting hot. The sun is actually, it's going right behind us. So it's fading out towards the right field side, but basically where it is, it's right on the back of our necks from where we're standing. And we've seen some umpires have heat exhaustion troubles in prior years. You don't want that to be an issue, especially in the 7th inning of this game. Fouled back by Klezix out towards the third base side, and it's 0-1. I mean, we're just broadcasters. He's in the heat of the moment and is in the middle of the action. He's going to be a little bit more, let's just say, warm. 0-2, that one's hit on the other field. Haddon Heights is warming up on the JV field behind us. Or maybe that's a softball field of some kind, but either way, Haddon Heights stretching things out with their bands and getting ready for a quick turnaround in game 2. Here's the 0-2. Klezix, high chopper to third. It's going to roll, and it's foul. Bell was maybe hoping that ball went back fair as it stayed on the infield dirt, but to the left side of the chalk. No balls, 2 strikes. Klezix has hit a couple of balls foul here. Pasalak was set. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Klezix got hammered with a fastball high, and there's one away. It's Joey Sprague, the sophomore. 0 for 3, but does have an RBI. Strike called. He was the last RBI in the 6th inning, excuse me. I apologize, the 5th inning, which was really the most crucial of the game. 5 runs for Eustace, 4 for RV. Sent this game to another stratosphere in terms of offense. 0-1. Sprague hits one out towards center field. This one is trailing back towards right center, and making the catch in center is Fiola. The run will score on the sacrifice fly, and as Rancocas Valley picks up their 2nd out, they do score their 6th run, and it's 10-6. So the 2nd RBI of the game for Sprague. So here is the Red Devils batting with 2 away. Runner goes. Strike called. Runner gets down to second, uncontested. They held there, 1-1. The batter is Evan Valley. He is hitting for Austin Wright. So a big spot, and Haverstick is going with a little bit of a wild card here. One ball, 1 strike. That's lined. Well, the wild card just paid off. That's a base hit in the right field. 1 run comes in. Haverstick lets up the stop sign at third. RBI single for Evan Valley, the sophomore. And that makes it a 10-7 game. In just his 2nd at-bat of the year, that's his first varsity hit with the Red Devils. And Valley picks up an RBI single as Rancocas Valley digs into their deep bench and Liam Young is the batter. With 2 runners on, 10-7 game. He is the tying run. Runner goes again. RV stealing all over the place. They get down to second uncontested. More on defensive indifference, if you will, but those 2 runs really don't matter at this point. Young is the one that matters. We'll just have to keep that ball in the yard here in the pitcher-friendly Timber Creek Stadium. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a foul tip. Big swing by the big man Young. Young with 6 career extra base hits. He's got 3 doubles as a junior, 3 this season. 286 hitter, 12 for 42. And tonight, he is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Avery Ash hit for him in his 3rd at-bat, in the place of his 3rd at-bat. 1-1. Passalacqua misses low and away. Yates having to duck in front of that one. Adams will be next if the ball game continues, but, well, that is a big if. 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. A single could score 2 and make this a 1-run game as Passalacqua in relief throws pitch number 60. There's a strike, 2-2. RV down to their last strike. Delsey and Haddon Heights behind us, waiting in the wings. The 4 o'clock game, and the winner of that looks like they could play the winner of this in Bishop Eustace if they get this strike. Passalacqua, 2-2. Got him! Ball game! Eustace punches their ticket to the next round, and a late Rancocas Valley rally falls short. And the 10-7 game is the final here in Game 1 as Bishop Eustace, in a wild day, catches some insurance in the 6th, and they hang on despite 2 runs scored as Young strikes out. And that's the ball game. Final score in this one, Bishop Eustace 10, Rancocas Valley 7. Your player of the game will be J.J. McLaughlin, who really just was relentless with the bat today. He went 3 for 3, 3 singles, 2 RBIs, and a walk. You could also give props to Dante Matarese, who went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs as well. Picking up the win is going to be Eamon McDermott. Meanwhile, picking up the loss will be the Rancocas Valley starting pitcher, the freshman Chase Logue. That'll be all for us in Game 1 of this doubleheader at the Timber Creek Regional Diamond Classic. The final score again, 10-7 in favor of Bishop Eustace. A star-studded matchup between Haddon Heights and Delsey is next. We'll be back at around 4:15 p.m. Again, they'll need about a half hour, according to John Cates, to turn the field over and get everything ready for Game 2. So we'll be back in just a few moments. Make sure you click the new link for the broadcast for Game 2. Have a good one, folks.